Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling something I know we all absolutely dread, that blinking maintenance-required light on your printer. It's the worst, right? It always seems to happen right when you're rushing to print something crucial. Well, today, we're going to break that roadblock down together. So I gotta ask, are you ready to actually fix your printer? Because by the end of this, I promise you will be. We're taking what usually feels like a dense, super frustrating technical chore and turning it into a totally approachable step-by-step process. You really don't need a degree in computer engineering to keep your machine running smoothly. You just need the right roadmap, and well, that's exactly what we're building today. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the basics of printer maintenance, then move on to replacing the print head, replacing toner cartridges, refilling ink cartridges, cleaning and replacing drums, and finally, wrap up with our key maintenance takeaways.
Okay, Section 1, the basics of printer maintenance. And this brilliantly illustrates our source blueprint from the Unit 1 Maintenance Guide. It's basically the perfect summary of our 4 core tasks. It breaks everything down into 4 manageable areas: the print head, the toner, the ink refill, and the drum. So instead of feeling totally overwhelmed by the whole machine, we're just going to look at these 4 specific pieces one by one.
Section 2, replacing the print head. Let's dive into this. I want you to imagine we're standing right next to your home office printer right now. Here is the exact sequence straight from the source. Step 1, simply open the cover. Easy enough, right? Step 2, remove the existing cartridges and just get them safely out of the way. Now, step 3 is where you release the latch that's holding the old print head in place. Once that old one is out, step 4 is to pop in and install the new head. And finally, step 5, you just reinstall those cartridges you set aside earlier. It's a completely logical, mechanical sequence. Open, remove, release, install, replace. Boom, you're done. All right, Section 3, replacing toner cartridges.
So, much like the print head, the physical extraction and insertion process here is super straightforward if you just follow the steps. Step 1, open the front door of the machine. Step 2, pull out the tray. Step 3, carefully remove the old cartridge. Now, with a nice steady hand, step 4 is to unpack the new one. And then step 5, you simply insert it and close the door. Pretty simple. However, there's actually a very specific instruction regarding step 4 that we really need to highlight.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this specific parenthetical warning right from our source material. When you unpack that new toner cartridge, you must avoid light and avoid touching the delicate components. Toner cartridges are highly sensitive. The manual explicitly flags avoid light and touch to make sure you don't accidentally ruin the brand new hardware before it even makes it into the machine. No one wants to do that. Now, let's move along and see how this builds into our next topic. We just looked at toner replacement, which is essentially just swapping out a fully contained cartridge unit, right? You pull the old block out, you put the new block in. But refilling an ink cartridge, that's a different beast. It involves manually injecting liquid ink directly into an existing cartridge. So we're moving from a simple swapping motion to a much more delicate procedure. Which brings us to Section 4, refilling ink cartridges. Okay, here is the delicate procedure exactly as outlined in the maintenance guide. Step 1, you're going to use a dedicated refill kit. Step 2, you need to find the fill hole on your cartridge, or, depending on the model, you might actually need to puncture a new one. Now, step 3, and the source text is incredibly clear on this, you must inject the ink slowly. Seriously, do not rush this part. And finally, step 4, once it's filled, you seal that hole securely with tape. But wait, the job isn't done just because the tape is on. The source text adds one final, absolutely crucial step to this whole refilling process. Print a test page. This is your verification. It's how you actually confirm that your slow injection worked, that the seal is tight, and that the ink is flowing properly. You literally never want to skip the test page. Moving on to Section 5, cleaning and replacing drums. Now, what's really interesting about this sequence is how it starts. Unlike the previous tasks that just said open cover or open front door, step 1 here is explicitly power off. You've got to completely power off the device for safety. Then, step 2, you remove the drum. Step 3 is the actual maintenance part. Wipe it carefully, but remember, you must use a lint-free cloth. Then step 4, just reinsert it securely back into the machine. And just like the toner we talked about earlier, there is a massive caution associated with the drum that we really need to isolate here. The source text explicitly warns, avoid sunlight. Keeping the drum out of direct sunlight is absolutely vital for the hardware's survival. These components are incredibly photosensitive, meaning exposing them to the sun during that removal and wiping phase, yeah, that can cause permanent damage. So keep it in the shade.
All right, Section 6, Final Maintenance Takeaways. Look at everything you've managed to master today. You now know the exact 5-step physical sequence for printhead replacement. You understand toner upkeep, especially those crucial warnings about avoiding light and touch. You're familiar with the delicate, slow process of precise ink refilling. And, of course, the absolute necessity of that test page. Plus, you know the drill for drum cleaning, starting with powering off, using a lint-free cloth, and keeping it completely safe from sunlight. Honestly, mastering these 4 routine tasks is going to empower you to keep your entire home office setup running flawlessly. So, what does this all mean for you? Well, which of these 4 printer maintenance tasks will you confidently tackle next? The true test of this explainer isn't just knowing the steps in your head. It's taking action before that dreaded blinking light forces your hand. I challenge you to apply this blueprint today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I can't wait to guide you through your next tech hurdle.